Thomas stops illegally. Thomas was about to leave the station when all of a sudden... "Oh no! Thomas, stop! I think I've broken a valve," Bertie said helplessly. "A valve? Oh no!" said Thomas sadly. Diesel purred by. "Whoa! Oh, wait a minute. What's he doing here?" "Who?" "Diesel. You know, like that weird Diesel that stalks us for some reason. Him. He just went by." "Anyway, that's along the contrary. I'll go see if there's any flatbeds in stock at Farquhar," said Thomas. Bertie thought that was a great idea. He uncoupled from his coaches and left. But then... "Wait, Thomas! You need to take my passengers. They can't be late." "Oh, well, you're all right, Bertie. I'll go turn around at Farquhar to talk to Mavis, see if she can take you to the works." He coupled up to his coaches and left to go turn around at Farquhar. Later, Thomas slowly came to a stop at a station. Presumably, one of Bertie's passengers lived too far from the station to walk, so they requested a stop of the line. But then, Bertie's passengers got cross. "Stop at our requested stops too," they shouted at him. Thomas didn't think it would hurt to do some extra stopping. But as the slow, long run continued, he realized what they were doing, and so did his other passengers. Thomas came to a stop. "Okay, I can't stop every kilometre. You'll just have to do the walk," and his passengers were very cross, especially Bertie's. That night, Thomas finally arrived at Knapford Station, but the Fat Controller was there. He was wondering what had taken him so long. "What took you so long, Thomas? You were supposed to be here 2 hours ago." Thomas realized that the Fat Controller was sniffing him out. Yes, there was just a few hundred cows on the line," laughed Thomas. The Fat Controller wasn't buying it. I can't remember what happened exactly, but Farmer Trotter was taking his dog out for a walk." Said the Fat Controller. "I promise." "Sure. I don't want to hear more excuses, so if I hear or see you coming, if I see you coming late, and your driver gives me your exact answer you just gave me, you and your driver are in big, big trouble," he said sternly. Later that night at the sheds, Thomas told Duck what happened and asked for some advice. "Just tell him what you've been doing. I'm sure he'll be fine with it." "I don't know, Duck. He's pretty cross with me." "I can always pull it," said Percy happily. "It's fine, Percy," said Thomas. "I think I just have to tell him the truth." The next day, when he came to a stop at one of his stations, Bertie's passengers would not get off, which held Thomas up. Thomas was getting cross. "Come on, get off!" he yelled crossly, but they wouldn't. "We aren't getting off," they yelled back. "We're only getting off at all stops." Thomas's passengers started arguing with them. Thomas's driver and fireman soon went to the coaches to dispute the quarrel. Passengers nowadays, is that hard? Thomas watched and felt very worried. "Oh, what will the Fat Controller think?" he thought to himself, and that night he arrived at Knapford Station again, and he was very tired indeed, but luckily the Fat Controller wasn't there. "Woof! That was close. He isn't here. Best head out before he gets here," he said to himself, and he raced down the line. Oh, I'll be there tomorrow in police form. That night at the sheds, Doc was very, very cross with Thomas the Tank Engine. You said you were going to do it, said Doc crossly. Well, the original plan was to actually tell him, but he wasn't there. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Oh, please, Doc, interrupted Gordon. You aren't even supposed to be here. Doc rolled his eyes. Thomas neglected it, but he promised to himself not to argue and just tell the Fat Controller the hard truth. The next day, Thomas gave in and let his passengers get off at their requested stops. But about a mile before Farquhar, the starting and stopping was making his regular passengers nauseous. Thomas slowly came to a stop as the last passenger slowly got off. Everyone left on the train was feeling giddy. Oh, are we done now? Asked Daddy dizzily. I hope, said Thomas. He left, and as they approached Farquhar, he saw something in the distance, but he was too dizzy to see it clearly till it all began to appear clearly. Oh no, said Thomas devastatingly. Hello, 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 what's going on here? Said the policeman. Well, I hear you've been stopping illegally, interrupted the police, and that's a strike. But sir, Percy the bus broke down, and someone had to take his passengers, said Thomas. It's not my fault. Your fault or not, you're getting a strike. He wrote something down on a piece of paper and walked away. What will the Fat Controller think? Said Thomas to himself, but the rest of the story is for another day. Roll the credits.
A Thomas the Tank Engine fan production.